Hey, peace and blessings, family. It's Nero here. In this video, I'm talking to you guys today about the 11th house in astrology and what the 11th house deals with. And so, with that being said, let's get right into it, shall we? Yes. So the 11th house in astrology. The 11th house in astrology is also a house that is commonly referred to and known as the house of friends. Um, but not only is it known as the house of friends, it's also the house that's known. It's also a house that deals with our, social circle, network circle. What kind of group we're in, the kind of groups that we are attracted to, belong to, things like that, prefer. And also, what else is there? It's also a house. It's also known as the house of gains too, and the house of like hopes and dreams. What we wish to bring into society, like ideas, things like that. So our visions. And then when I talk about the other parts of this house, you'll see how that goes hand in hand. So yeah, for the most part, all the things I just mentioned earlier, that's what the 11th house deals with, for the most part. So yeah, let's get right into it now. Talking about this, the sign this house rules and then the planetary rulers of the house, because whichever planets rule that sign, they also rule over the house too, because the house rules over the sign. The sign, y'all get it. I talk about my videos all the time. So let's get into it. So 11th house is the house of Aquarius. What is Aquarius? Aquarius is a fixed air sign. What is a fixed air sign? Fixed air sign means we fixated on things dealing with thinking, being fixated on things dealing with the thought, the ideas, the communication, rationality, um, being relatable, compromising, and just and then things like just being structured and organized, and being like familiar, a familiarity. And then let's talk about, so we can tell we can talk, we know what the thing with like groups and circles, when things are grouped up and in circles. What is that? That's like in particular, we talk about like groups and circles and friends. Usually friends within in groups and circles that resonate with you, or y'all know what I mean. I don't want to get too much into it. So we talk about we talk about how with how Aquarius, how this house rules over Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Saturn brings about structure and organization, and focus, things like that. We can see how that goes hand in hand with like being in certain groups that you're supposed to belong with and be attached to, things like that. So if you're familiar with you know what I'm talking about. But let's get into the other. Let's get into like the other planetary ruler's house, which is the planetary ruler that is more so associated with this house. If you ask me, others may say Saturn. I say Uranus, because we know Aquarius is also ruled by Uranus. So what's the planet Uranus? Well, the planet Uranus is a planet that's all about. I call the planet Uranus the revolutionary, the planet that likes to bring about change. When things have become too stagnant, and too um, too stagnant and too repetitive and too like um, you know, stuck over time. And it's like, hey, and not only that, and it's just like, and it's not only with things being stuck, and stagnant and too familiar all the time. It's also when there's like injustices and things like that too, and when things have been unfair, and yeah, things like that. So Uranus deals with all of that. But Uranus is also a planet that deals with it's also a planet that deals with technology, things like that, being innovative, ideas. And ideas can go to like hopes and dreams, the wishes that we like to implement. So there's that part right there. But yeah, for the most part, this being a house, uh, and then Uranus is not only and then with Uranus too, Uranus is not only revolutionary. Uranus is a revolutionary for the greater good, for the collective, for for a cause higher than itself. So there's that too. But yeah, what else I want to get to? And then yeah, this is also a house that's also associated with technology too, as well. So Uranus and the 11th house, technology, Aquarius, things like that, all goes hand in hand. So yeah, but yeah, the biggest one though is like implementing new ideas, bringing about like new structure, new new ways of doing things. That's I like to think that Uranus energy. Uh, I like to look at this house as being more associated with that, but there's Saturn too. But I think the best way to look at this house is to have both of these energies work in here, and then with that, without getting too much detail, that's honestly the best way to look at it. Because honestly, when it comes to Saturn and Uranus, and Aquarius, I have my own way of looking at it. So yeah. So a quick reminder, yeah, like 11th house, Saturn, structure, routine, organization. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to say. We with organizations, we can, organizations and groups, Saturn and 11th house Aquarius right there, all connected. And then, the thing with ideas and implementing new ideas and new, bringing about change, that's, there's that too. And that's more so associated with, the hopes and wishes and the dreams part of this house. Saturn is associated with the organization, hopes and dreams associated with the, the ideas. So, yeah. But I probably just overthought that, but it is what it is. So let's actually get into one quick placement, for example. And so with nice. So let's actually get into like placements, for example. And I use my own personal placements when it comes to the 11th house. So with the 11th house, I have the sign Scorpio here, and Scorpio's natural planetary ruler in the same house too. So I don't really have to use different example like Jupiter, Leo, Mars, Cancer, things like that. So I can just use Pluto, Scorpio. And what does Pluto, Scorpio mean? Well, let's talk about Pluto. You know, um, with Pluto is like Pluto is not only known as the detective, it's also known as like the enforcer as well. So, when it comes to the kind of groups that I could, be into, one kind of example is like I could be in, I could be a part of law enforcement, groups or, organizations dealing with, law enforcement, things like that. Or, I could also, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. And also, and then, I could also be like I could either be a part of that group or I could be like a leader of that group. It can go both ways. So yeah, but more so was and that's like one example for something outside of me. But with Pluto Scorpio here, let's not forget that Pluto is also a planet that deals with power power struggles and control issues, and because and we know that comes from it being related to things dealing with like traumas and fears. So that's where the power and control issues come from. And so more so with how it manifests in my life with Pluto here in the 11th house. Talk about how the 11th house is a house of friends too. I tend to throughout my time that I've been here, been down here, I've experienced like power and control issues and power and control issues and struggles and all that, with my friends. And a lot of the time, there would be burnt bridges for reasons that I really would not like to get into. But ultimately, I could say without, hesitation and without too much shame or any of that, all those, lessons and experiences I went through have definitely, really taught me the importance of, letting go and really transforming and things like that. So I'll probably get into another video, but yeah. But yeah, for the most part, that's like my, that's my placement as an example. And then, with that being said, this is gonna be my take on the 11th house in astrology, or and or Aquarius. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, cool. If not, that's also cool. Can't please everybody. But as I always say, more so importantly, if you have any criticism, any feedback, any questions, please feel free to put those down in the comments, because that's what's most important to me. So yeah. Until then, I'll talk to you guys in the later, where I talk with the 12th house. And oh boy, that's gonna be one for me to nail, but I'll try my best. But yeah, until then, it is what it is. And I talk to you guys later, and I love you guys, and peace.